The Writings of Philosopher Prince Israel Zaar. Title: The Mentalization of Being. I now read Mentalization. Isn't the being of the being of the being itself, its mind, body, soul, and ecology, or the humanity, naturalities, artificialities, communalization, and the universe it lives in, or the civilizations it creates, or the multidimensionalization or multiversalization of which the being is part of? Isn't the being the intrinsicality of its mind as a thinking being, doubting being, and questioning being, with the intrinsic freedoms, expectations, and responsibilities bestowed upon its being? The being wasn't the being without its mind. Isn't human struggle the chapters of the mind? You shall struggle hard to prove thyself to those who think you're not worthy, not of thy fault or shortcomings, but because of their projections, perceptions, and perspectives, bias. Those who devalue others or undermine them hardly know the true potential of others, and shall find it difficult to recognize the depths of their minds, or appreciate their effort, or reward their positive contribution. Aren't human crises the flaws of the mind, acting without thinking or deciding without consideration? Wouldn't one say the world is not in crisis for lack of mind or intellect, or compassionate leaders or problem solvers, but of confirmation bias, groupthink, the dismissiveness of competence, the prevalence of incompetence, or the downplaying of inefficiency and mediocrity? Mentalization. Can it be said that society is sustained by the productive capacity building, PCB, of the middle class and labor of the working poor? Some mutually constructive observers, though cynical, can't resist holding the view that those at the bottom die trying to prove themselves to those above, that those above waste no time thinking or worrying about those below, unless there is a threat to their lives, power, class, status, or affluence. Isn't the so-called common person or common citizen the mind behind the industries, factories, and workforce, with their natural mind task, NMT, being replaced by artificial intelligence algorithms, AIA? Aren't algorithms the new minds of agented AI against conscientious minds, CCM? The common person lives hoping for the best, praying for good fortune, working hard, pushing on, moving forward, dreaming for the promise or dreaming for a better future or better humanity, and struggling to be psychologically replaced or industrially oriented to work with humanoids. Though hopeful, some common citizens might not get to their dreams, not for lack of trying or lack of effort or lack of hope or prayers or goodwill, but for their inability or lack of resources to adapt their mentalization to artificial intelligence algorithms, AIA. If not AI, some common citizens might not attain their dreams not for lack of skills or expertise, but for someone higher in the chain of command, hired to restrict, reject, reduce, and demean those at the bottom. Be not the one whose task is to unduly slash the jobs of citizens. Can it be said a meritorious society is a dream for all, but at the reach of a relative few? Mentalization. Shouldn't a meritorious society reward effort, hard work, talent, good behavior, good character, and decorate those capable and willing to put their best efforts to use or sacrifice themselves for the good of all? Isn't nepotism the contrast of meritocracy? That in an entrenched, nepotistic-based society, NBS, hatred of the poor is prevalent? That the exploitation of the middle class is common practice, or that the restriction of others climbing the ladders of opportunities is the unwritten code? Let not the middle class be underpaid or overworked without space to develop their intrinsic creative potentials. In some societies, as observed, the middle class is burdened with underpaid tasks and poor working conditions, with threats of AI replacement while bowing to the dictates of their employers, sometimes in compromise of their dignity, well-being, health being, or wealth development. They do the most work for the least wealth, but are often given tokens of recognition, not increased pay or better working conditions. Still, by observation, humans have a positively sophisticated mind with will and zest to work or contribute and make a living or generate wealth. It takes effort to try, and it is discouraging to give up, especially if your efforts are deliberately refused to be recognized by those in power. It takes nothing to encourage, but everything negative to discourage. Be the builders of minds, the elevators of our time, and the inspiration or mind behind positively productive humans. This is philosophical, not empirical, the wisdom of Zaarrianism, USA. Philosopher, Prince Israel Zaar, USA, May 6, 2026. The background video is Trianglerism, Immersive, Inventive Art. Hope you enjoy listening. Leave a comment and subscribe.